Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akul Mac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. Neville, good morning.
Good morning, CK. May the force be with you, which is a pun, really, because today's May the 4th. And May the force be with you is a very famous saying from what movie? What do you think that movie came from?
Let me think. I'm not getting the name.
You're not getting the name?
Can you
Really?
Oh man.
I think you're pulling my leg. Everyone knows it's Star Wars, and today is hashtag Star Wars Day. But do you know where May the 4th or May the Force be with you comes from?
I frankly don't know, but I would like to know.
Well, it goes back to 1979 when the Conservatives in the UK got a landslide victory. Margret Thatcher was the residing Prime Minister at the time, and on May the 4th, 1979, the Conservatives were re-elected. And hence, May the 4th be with you, Maggie, was a phrase that the Conservatives used. Several years later, when the Star Wars franchise came out, May the Force be with you was a little twist, which is quite nice, really. So, May the Force be with you, and May the Force be with everybody out there. So if you're a Star Wars fan, here's another little snippet. The Star Wars movies started off, Chandra, with which number? Was it the first movie? Sixth movie?
No, I watched them all many times.
Well, the first one was just called Star Wars.
No,
but interestingly enough, George Lucas wrote the whole series. And the first Star Wars movie is now called the fourth. So it was the fourth in the series. So it's even more important, May the Force be with you, because the first Star Wars movie was the fourth. Now, not a lot of people know that, but that's almost irrelevant. Let's focus on the guy, George Lucas, because he had a great phrase. You can't do it unless you imagine it. Now, some people might remember Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. So whereas Walt Disney had the can-do attitude, George Lucas can't do attitude, but he put it in the negative. So if you can't do it unless you imagine it. So how's your imagination, CK? How's it going today?
Well, I think I would like to imagine. I would like to think about what are the possibilities, because if I don't do, even 10% of the work will not get done. So I will like to be imaginative, because I know that if I have ideas, at least I can fructify some of those ideas.
Absolutely right. So what's new in the world of India today?
Well, I think this is a very interesting information that you shared with us today, which is May the 4th. And I was a small kid, when Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of UK. I think she was known as Strong Lady or Iron Lady.
Iron Lady. Yeah, the Iron Lady.
Right. So we used to see Margaret Thatcher on the news and on the TV most of the while, and she had that angle where she looked the best, and the media used to show her the best picture all the time. So I think it was a mesmerizing moment for all of us, and she was really a great leader. Many times, she was also because in India also we had Indira Gandhi and Margaret Thatcher were put in one bucket, leading their own respective countries in the right direction. So it is a very good information, and how George Lucas used to come up with the most famous Hollywood punchline, "Force be with you." Very good for today. So on my side, I would like to share, start with what is the status of COVID cases. And as you know, the India and there are many reasons the COVID is not spreading as rapidly as it has spread in other countries. Uh, so it is needless to point out that there could be many reasons, including the basal immunity of Indians, maybe BCG vaccine. So we don't know because somebody has to do research. Uh, as of yesterday, Indian medical authorities have conducted COVID tests, and after conducting, the data looks very good. We the people who are infected with COVID is on the rise. It is not rising. It is rising. Lower getting admitted to either. But with all of that, the cases that we have identified so far are only 42,533. In a country of 1.3 billion, we have so far identified 42,533 after conducting a million tests. We have 1,373 fatalities, so which is slightly over 3%. So the people recovering after getting COVID is very high. It is almost like 27% have recovered and gone home. So I think a couple of things are happening. If you look at this data, the rate of doubling is almost 13 days now. So while in other countries where the rate of doubling is increasing, and it's like some countries are showing data of rate of doubling of COVID patient of 3 days. We had 3 days, but now it is showing 13 days. So I think the lockdown in India, which was very, very stringent compared to other countries, I think it's really worked. It saved the spread of coronavirus here. So I just wanted to present this data point to you. And I will also like to talk about the mega days which happened last week in India. Some of these mega days were done by the foreign companies, and some are done by the Indian companies themselves within India. So let's talk about first mega deal. Neville, you must be aware of Make in India initiative that India has started, and
Yep.
The government of India is encouraging the global production houses to come to India, set up their own factory, make stuff here, sell it to Indians, and also export it. So as part of the Make in India initiative, the government of India has launched a very big tender for the defense purchase. It's a tech bid which is worth $3.2 billion. So this bid will attract a lot of defense tech manufacturing companies all across the world. I think this is all under tech. The tech bidding is all under Make in India. So it's a big deal. The second big deal we have is in the real estate arena. There is a US company, very large company called Blackstone, and they have tied up with an Indian real estate company called Embassy, and they have picked up in a third real estate very large company's stake. The company is called India Bulls, and so they have taken 39% of the promoters' share in India Bulls. Jointly, Blackstone and Embassy have taken 39% of the promoter stake, which is equal to 15% of the stake in the company. And this whole thing is $650 million.
Wow. Wow.
So the Blackstone is entering India into real estate, picking up 15% stake in partnership with Embassy in a very large company, India Bulls. A lot of Indians know this company. They are into multiple businesses. They are in real estate, they are in financial services, they are in housing, home loans. It's a very large group. And these consortium has taken 15% stake in this company. So it's a large deal which happened. And the third large deal, it is predominantly an Indian deal. That means another Indian powerhouse is buying another Indian powerhouse. So it's a India-centric deal, but you can imagine it's a huge deal within India itself. There is a large hospital in New Delhi, or national capital region called Medanta. And it's a very popular, one of the large hospital with global fame. And there is a down south, there is a large hospital chain owned by Manipal Group. Now, Manipal Group started during the British era, 80 years back, and they have become very large. They have been acquiring a lot of Chinese companies, and they are also spread across multiple businesses. And medical business is one of their key business. So, Manipal hospitals have decided to acquire 100% Vedanta Hospital for a whooping price of $892 million.
Wow.
So one Indian hospital buying another Indian hospital for $892 million is a big deal in India. The deal has to be completed in next 60 days. And I think I'm not able to cover all that is happening on the business front in India, but these are the major items that happened last week.
Wow, those are pretty major seismic type changes happening in India. But you mentioned at the beginning of this about all of these statistics that are now coming out. I mean, it's amazing the type of the quality in the statistics and the data that's coming out from all over. And again, in the second item, without all of that statistics, you wouldn't really know what's going on. The journalists now are getting access to an amazing amount of information, just from typically what one might typically look at as just a standard press release. So we're being flooded with more data and data and data, and that leads us into one of the biggest items over here that's happening is called track and trace, which very simply is tracking and tracing who you've had contact with because of this COVID virus. But of course, anyone in marketing will know about track and trace. I mean, you know about track and trace, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that is what we live for.
Exactly, it is what we live for. And the digital world allows us to track and trace. And Top Brass has got the perfect platform for track and trace. You know, you list an article, you spread it around all of the network and your own network, and then you can actually see through track and trace, through the digital arena, just exactly what's happening. Nothing difficult with that, is there?
That's right. So Top Brass is one platform which are useful and currently being used by many startups and SMEs, and they are doing their marketing automation using Top Brass, which is similar to track and trace. You're right, absolutely.
Yeah, so track and trace, it is particular to, I mean, if you go and look at the hashtag track and trace, you will see it's all linked to the COVID arena. But here's a classic example where SMEs can now get hold of the digital world, understand the track and trace. So just Google it, just put track and trace and see what's happening, not in your world, but in someone else's world, as to when you connect with somebody else, how you can connect with others. I mean, in many respects, it's very simple marketing concept. And networkers around the world rely on it all the time. So if I make an introduction to you, who do you make an introduction to? What do you say to them? So track and trace is nothing new in the digital world. But the issue is, the interesting issue is, for me, is that not many people are utilising it. You see many people put a tweet out, they'll put something on Facebook, but they'll never respond to it. And to be fair, a lot of people will say, that's nice or well done. But even if some people are giving you feedback, now's the opportunity to tap into them. Why did they take their time out, even just to like it? That's track and trace. That's potential client. You know, I use the word potential very loosely here because, you know, sometimes people just click like, and you never really know where they're coming from. But after a while, this track and trace mentality you will be able to, in the UK, we have this phrase, sort the wheat from the chaff. Or you might say, to see the wood from the trees. And we've all got those. I mean, what's the analogy that you would use in India, CK?
We say, count the fruits. So like you said, look the wood. We say count the fruits on the tree.
Yeah, love it. Count the fruits on the tree. I mean, and actually the beautiful thing about that one is fruits come from flowers. So you can predict the number of fruits on the tree if you're aware by looking at the flowers, looking at the propagation of the flowers. And of course, do you know what? That's got a really good analogy as well, because some fruits ripen quicker than others, don't they?
Right.
And we talk about going after the low-hanging fruits.
Absolutely. Low-hanging
fruits. So here we got a lesson for the day here. I mean, we never even thought this might happen, but something usually comes out of it. So just by starting off the day with, you can't do it unless you imagine it, George Lucas, may the force be with you. We've now got the low-hanging fruit, which is perfect. And a good way to end, I think.
Absolutely. So it's a very interesting conversation, Neville. We'll catch up again tomorrow. And so yourself and myself are here to help people who are struggling with their marketing. We are available for anyone. So I urge my viewers to reach out to us just in case if they need any help from us in any business generation or marketing activities.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to reinforce that, let's put you in the spotlight. So, may the force be with you. Let's put you in the spotlight. Have a great day, CK, and good luck, everybody. Happy hunting.
Thank you so much, Neville. See you tomorrow.